Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Sunrunners, our interactive D&D Dark Matter sci-fi charity game campaign. We're so excited for episode 2. Unfortunately, Ronald Taylor is having some internet issues, so Hades will be present, but not present with us this episode, unless his internet comes back in in which case we'll stop the stream to kind of get it reorganized and keep going with him there. So hopefully the internet will come back for him. And so yeah, last we left off, our adventurers were assigned the RSV Banneker and took its maiden voyage to the moon base on Europa to deliver some supplies and experts in the field of engineering. And they had successfully delivered those supplies, met the Moonbase operations director of Moonbase operations, David Brink, and were on their way back when they had discovered a virus that was permeating the entirety of the Moonbase, and decided to investigate that a little further. Found that it was coming from the laptop. It was Napster virus, and yeah, they took the chariot back up into the RSV Banneker from the moon base, and that's where we're going to pick up from where we left off. So the chariot locks into place aboard the RSV Banneker, and the trapdoor beneath the chariot shuts and locks, securing the chariot into place, and the door slides open. That's where we're at.
Great.
You're all in the chariot. Go ahead and begin the session.
Quinn will start, flipping some of the switches, getting things ready. Elias is right next to him, right? You're still co-pilot.
Hey, Captain.
So we had a data pad from David Brink. Who has that right now? Do you have
I think
that?
I probably do.
You have it?
Adriadne.
Okay.
Do we want to give it to the captain like right now, or do we want to find some excuse to wait until we go by the satellite? Or should I just tell them there's a virus on it? Like, what do we want to do?
Joe, if she gives you coordinates, I could probably find a way to memorize those coordinates fairly easily, right? Being a navigator.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
I'm just gonna be like-
If she gives you the coordinates, you'd be able to lock those in your.
Yeah, at least for a short time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, just read off the coordinates again, and then we'll just give it to him.
Well, I don't want him to like plug it into something. Well, I guess I deleted it. Yeah. Okay.
There's no virus on it
we're
anymore,
good.
right?
We're good.
Right. You had gotten rid of the virus that was on.
Chirp. All right, let's go.
Yeah, because you just found a whole bunch of thank you letters, right? Thank you, everyone and your mom, for this job.
Thank you so much.
Well, there were,
Mwah.
if I remember, there were a number of thank you letters. One of them was a thread to the RSV Banneker. One of them was a thread to the graduates, or to the school, to the academy. One of them was to the moon base, someone with the moon base, and then the other one was to Panworld Corporation, and the one with Panworld Corporation was the one that had the virus on it.
I think the virus was just in the whole thing.
Yeah, I thought it was just like.
The virus was attached to an email from the Panworld thing, but it had spread through the rest of the moon base.
Yeah.
And then you tracked it back, like the origin of the virus was not on that data pad. It was actually on the laptop that he had gotten from.
Yeah, because he got it from the swap thing. Yeah.
Which we never got our hands on.
So we are okay. Well, I'm up for whatever you guys are. I really want to check this out.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
one of you that's going to the bridge, take this. I hand the data pad over to whoever wants it.
I'll grab it.
two people reach out. Which one gets
I
And
leap.
his relaxes
No.
are probably way faster than mine. I'm just like, what? I'm like the dad in the front seat of the car who's just like, give me the candy.
it? Quinn does a backflip and then grabs it. Stop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ninja
Yeah.
Star.
I gotta get back to engineering, but when I have some free time, I look at the virus thing, and yeah, you need me for anything, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it for us. As long as we have this, have the pad. This also is our go-to. We did a good job. Everything's set, right? Because this is also the verification that we need to give to the captain.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Great. Well, I may I'm gonna swing by my room quick and see if some of my gear is there, because I don't know if we have our gear yet. And so I might check by my quarters here before heading back up to the bridge, but I should be there fairly quickly.
Okay. So, Adriadne is headed back down to the engineering deck, and Beats is headed back to the cargo area.
Or I didn't know where the ship actually, if it was near the cargo bay.
The chariots
separate.
are like right next to the cargo bay,
Okay.
along with the fighters and
Okay.
all that.
So yeah, I'd have my short trip over to the cargo bay, and I would probably make sure that everything's latched and locked in place, and then I would head over to the cargo bay and log in everything I need to indicate that the cargo had been taken out of the ship and everything. So
So, Quinn is separating from Elias as he heads towards his personal area.
No, if he's gonna go to like the cabins and stuff, I'll go with him. I
Okay.
don't want to go back to the bridge without him.
Gotcha. So you two are sticking together, and Hades is kind of following behind you, just kind of quiet.
Great.
So, as you go get to the residential areas, the teleporter door opens up, and you see the long hallway, and the lights kind of flicker on, almost like fluorescent style.
I'll look to Elias and say, yeah, the technology here, much better than the moon base.
Yeah, I don't know how people use those doors. It's just
It's almost
it's so much energy to like reach out, grab the handle, and turn it and open and just
I'd be tired. I'd be tired like halfway through the day, just
Yeah.
because every door is like an impediment. Like you can't get to the next room. You have to waste all that energy opening the door.
yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I'm gonna take a quick check in here, and then see you back out here in 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Okay. So Quinn, you walk down the hallway, and each room has an assigned number on it, and then under the number is the last name, comma, first name of the occupant. So you find your room,
Yep.
and as you stand in front of it, there is a little holopad that kind of pops up out of the door, out of the side panel on the door. You would know that this is an authentication system. You have to present your little badge, scans it to open.
Absolutely. Lapse of judgment. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna show my badge and authenticate that it's me.
Yeah, so it and the door slides open, and inside your room is a very it's a very small, like 10 by 10 room. It's got a kind of like one of those pull down beds, but it's automatic. It just kind of comes out, and it's this like cylinder with a bed, and then there is a very plasticky looking white nightstand on the side that opens up to this like square porthole that looks outside. You've got one of rooms that has a outside window.
We got a window room.
Window room.
Wow.
Hey.
That's nice.
Fancy,
That's a nice
fancy.
room. They get
And
good
you
grades,
see-
I guess.
Next to the nightstand is a duffel bag, which you would identify immediately as your personal belongings.
What's the rule about carrying weapons on the ship?
Good question.
Typically, it's just security personnel. However, as a ground team person, you would be allowed to carry weapons during the missions, and since you're just coming back from one, nobody would really question you.
Like, don't mind this concussion rifle. I'm gonna go back to that kid that was causing Hades issues with my
Oh
concussion rifle.
no! He just wanted to fly.
Okay, I'm going to. So I'm looking through my bag super quickly, knowing I only have 5 minutes. And Quinn is not the most effective with technology or data, but he's proficient in it. But he's not the smartest person in the group. His objective is single-handedly to try to get a copy of this email from Panwide. So he has his own data pad, and that's about it. So I don't know if there's like an arcane like thunder cable that he can use to like attach the two and then like bippity boppity boo, or just simple as like forward. Like,
Okay.
the D&D version of forwarding an email to yourself.
I like
That's what
having
I
two data pads, and it's like that thing from like
It's like airdrop.
like the no, yeah, just tap them
symbol?
and then
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cantrip. It's a cantrip. I just keep. I can do
Yeah,
this
you
every
just-
6
as
seconds.
many
I can
times
do
as
this.
you want.
Yeah, it costs me no energy.
So the technology that this email is utilizing is fairly common among intercommunications. It's not something that you would be amiss from. You would have experience using this communication system, and it is indeed something that you could just click a button on that data pad and send it to your data pad, because you would know they have came off of the chariot and they are reporting to their respective areas. Hades, Elias, and did I say that right? Elias? I always say it wrong. Elias.
I say Elias and
Elias.
Elias so far, and I've only said it twice, and I've got it. I switched both times.
Bird Boy.
at this point he's just not correcting anyone. He just knows. He knows what his name is, and he's just like, yeah, they're probably talking about me. It's fine.
Just call you Polly.
Elias, Quinn have went towards the bridge, but they stopped off at the residential areas, and Hades was following with Elias and Quinn. So you're currently kind of standing outside in the hallway of the residential areas with.
We have that was the that was the self-destruct sequence that I just set on my
Yeah.
data
Okay.
pad.
Uh-oh.
And also, our stuff is delivered in our rooms.
Oh, okay, cool. All
So
right.
I'm just going to be. I'm either going to find if I know of a discrete way that I could pull this off, given the information or the stuff that I have, which is really just a data pad and whatever's in the room. Then I'll try to be discreet about it. Otherwise, I'm going to do the like classic, creepy significant other, forward to the email, make sure I got it, and then delete it.
Okay. If you're trying to do it like sneakily without leaving a trace behind, then I'll need you to roll a data roll.
Okay. Is that the same as a data roll?
No,
Data-
they're totally
Is
different
that different?
skills.
I don't think I'm
Mhm. Yeah,
proficient
yeah.
in
Data,
data. I'm only
tomato,
proficient in
tomato.
data. Yeah.
Dad roll.
Uh-oh.
Potato, potato.
Not great. If I turn it around, it's a 9, but if I use the number it's supposed to be, it's a 6, so that gives me an 8.
Okay.
You could have just asked me to do this for you.
This is a secret.
Okay.
So
Have your
you
secrets.
start to kind of
Have your
try to get around the protocols on there to do it sleuthily without leaving a trace behind. But as you're doing that, you delete the message.
Fuck. Can I say that? Whoops. Shoot.
We
I think you can, yeah.
yes, we put a mature on all of our streams.
Okay.
So
Sorry, kids.
that's all right.
Oh, beans.
Anyone under 18 that's watching this, make sure you get your parents' permission.
Good guess, dude.
All right. I delete the message. Darn. Shucks.
A
Okay.
sugar cone.
Fucking
Sugar
gosh.
cone.
Sugar, honey, ice.
Okay. So it's gone. So we don't, it's like the pan world email is gone.
From this data pad, yes.
Is it on mine?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
thank goodness.
That's
did
like, that's like a
forward it.
true, it's a true dad moment. Oh, wait. Oh,
You said
okay,
the whole
okay.
thing.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, Audrey could probably recover it with her awesome hacker skills.
That's all right. With my 11 intelligence, I've done enough. I'm going to I'm gonna put my I'm putting my data pad back in my bag, and then I'll have the other one, and I'll walk out. And I think the only thing I'll take is my pole arm. I have a glaive, and so I'll keep that with. I feel like that's like an extendo thing, so I feel like I
Yeah.
could probably like get it 5 feet and just slash it on the
About
back.
a foot long
And then it
and about 4 inches in diameter, and
cool. And it grows to be 10 feet when you just add water.
yep.
Excellent. All right, so I'll be out, and I'm going to wait for Elias and Hades, and then we can head to the front of the bridge together.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in and get my Omni tool.
Okay. So you go into your room, and it's the same thing. You got this little cylinder bed, white stand, and then next to that is what looks like a duffel bag. Bless you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my Omni tool and my interface rig, just the stuff that I would use to man the navigation and everything. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with my stuff. I'm gonna get my Avia Raw staff,
Yeah, that is.
which I'm assuming is the same kind of deal. It's just like a little, like this big, and it has like a little gem, and then
Yeah,
and then
yours
it
is
becomes
actually
like a
about the size of a Chinese finger trap. And
It
there's
is a Chinese finger trap.
Boys in their pole arms, man, I tell you.
there's a little button that you can push on the back of it. It's just a little pin-sized button that extends it out. And
Yeah, I'm just gonna like drop it in my
Your last name's Sun Wukong.
my my jacket or my pocket. Yeah, put my pocket.
little pocket in your robe. There.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then hop out. Just get my stuff on.
You're in the residential area, and you see them two kind of disperse and go to their rooms. Would you like to visit your room?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So you go down the hallway, and the light begins to kind of follow you down, and you find the number, and then it's got your last name, first name associated with your pod room.
All right. I go in, and I will go ahead and affix my armor pieces, the bracers, and the shin guards and the chest plate. I only shop Helix brand, guys. And I will get my laser axe.
Okay. And it's the same thing. The handle is all that's really there until you push a button and it pops out
Yeah.
and powers on. So
Yep,
it's
and I
very
took-
portable.
Tuck that on the back of my belt.
All right. Hook that in there, and then come out of the room, and all three of you meet up in the hallway. I'm going to come back to you as Adriadne has made it down to the elevator room, and the doors slide open, and you are in the engineering room. The chief engineer is sitting at her station, kind of motioning and manipulating the screen in front of her. She looks up and waves at you. Welcome back.
We're back.
How was
It
your
went-
excursion?
It went great.
Great.
I even got another stool.
Oh, that's fantastic. You have another
So
stool.
cool. You can never have too many stools when you're me. You just can't.
Well, that's good that you have enough stools. I want you to not be able to reach anything.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
She just looks back to her screen and begins to manipulate the screen and pushing buttons. You see her kind of looking at the stats of the engine.
I hop into my chair, spin superfluously a couple times on it, and then get back to work.
Push the button.
If I don't have anything else to do, I will look on my own personal Omni tool thing at the virus and such and see if there's anything interesting about it. Just really study that little guy.
Okay, so you're going to start to kind of investigate the coding in the virus and everything. Go ahead and roll your data roll.
Oh man.
And while you're doing that roll, Beats, you get back into the cargo hold, and a lot of the automatons that are under your command are just kind of like shifting and moving things. and you hear them kind of muttering something about it's more efficient over here. No, it's more efficient over here, and they're just kind of trying to shift and move the cargo and the supplies in this hold into various different positions where one one automaton thinks that this should be over here, and then another one will walk over and pick up the same thing and move it to a different location, thinking
That's
it's
adorable.
over here.
Hmm.
So they're just kind of moving things radically.
Yeah, that's not normal. Do I have some kind of like a manual override or a manual shutdown, or is it just
They do have the automatons have a switch on a panel on their shoulder blade that you can lift up and turn them off. But you also have like they directly report to you.
okay.
So if you issue them a command, you would assume that they would follow that command.
All right. So after like a minute of just watching these, automatons interact, and I would just halt.
They all completely freeze.
Let's see, what would they know? Guess I would command them to line up.
They begin to line up with some of them holding the cargo that they were transporting back and forth. They just begin to form this single file line.
Okay. And then I guess I would. Is there some kind of way to run like a diagnostics on them individually, or like do I have a data pad that kind of?
Right, you would have an interface on you as a Vect. You would have an interface that you could interact with the automaton's software and run a diagnostic.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Is there one of the robots that's kind of like a lead automaton, or they're all kind of the same?
They're all just, I mean, they're numbered, so like I guess the lower the number, the higher the rank you would assume, but they're really not. There's no ranking system. They're just all like serial numbers.
Okay. I guess I would just start with the serial number towards the top of my data pad, and I would just select it and let it run its wireless diagnostics and see what it comes up with.
As you're running your diagnostics, Adriadne, what was your role?
21.
All right. So it doesn't take you long to kind of investigate through this coding and kind of break it down into bits. Are you looking for something specific, or are you just looking like an overall view of the virus?
I am mostly kind of going for an overall view, but I am also curious if all the stuff I said about it being able to adapt to anything would like actually happen.
Okay, so that's kind of your key focus, is you're looking on its ability to adapt to the environment.
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't take you long to kind of break the virus down into sections, and you find the section of code that sticks out to you as what would be the code required for that kind of propagation of adaptation. And it looks very, very complicated. Like, the virus that you thought this was seems to just kind of be a shell for something much more complex.
Shit.
At this point,
He was like, fuck, I told
Elias, Quinn, and Hades, you get off the teleporter. The doors slide open, and you are now on the bridge. You see the captain sitting in the chair and kind of relaxed and looking up at the main console, which has the view of Europa and Jupiter in the background. Jupiter takes up about 3/4 of the screen, and then Europa's kind of like in the corner, and you can see the moon base on the screen. Ah, good. You're back. Report.
Everything went smoothly, sir.
Fantastic. So we can turn this bucket around and head home.
About that, I thought perhaps maybe it was a little too anticlimactic if we just went the straight way. And I was hoping we could give the people, the crew, and the residents on the ship a kind of a nice going away shot of Europa and Jupiter. Once around the moon and head on back.
And he calls and says, Chief Engineering. Chief Engineer answers, and do we have enough fuel to make a trip around the moon? Chief Engineer replies, oh, absolutely, certainly, sir. Looks back up. That's an excellent idea, Hades. I think that's a great thing for the families aboard.
I believe,
And
Elias, did you find a navigation point for us to go through?
I can come up with something. I have an idea too.
All right. Permission to stay on the deck, sir?
Permission
Captain?
granted.
I'm gonna pop over to the navigation panel and just trying to fly close to, not like through the coordinates, but pretty close to.
Okay.
Like
So
we
it's
would
like in-
easily be able to see something, but we wouldn't like crash into it if it was.
Right. So the
was there.
coordinates that Adriadne got were on the dark side of the moon, the opposite side of the moon. So you could easily take, because there's plenty of space between Europa and Jupiter, easily take a course around and intersect those coordinates in between those coordinates and.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go make it go around, and then like if it makes sense, like slow down, like give the indication to like slow at this portion.
Okay.
For like a long portion where the ship is, and then route it back like we're going back to the academy.
Gotcha. So Quinn, the coordinates kind of pop up, and you see this notification flag on a certain point in the route.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of expand that, you see the notification to slow down between this quadrant and this quadrant.
Okay. I'll when I get into the seat, the helmsman seat, is Alfie there?
Alfie is sitting in the co-pilot seat. Yes.
Great. I'm gonna tell Alfie that I'll handle the simple flight. I'll handle the tourist trap here, and he can keep an eye out just in case something looks weird, and have him like just keep an eye on the scanners and see if he sees anything, just in case. And then I'll just handle the easy stuff, of course.
Sounds good to me. If you want to take over the work, I'm not going to argue with you, bud.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. And I'll look at Elias, see if am I good? I've got to go ahead. I'm plugged in.
Yep, you are you've got the coordinates. It's
great.
Hey Joe.
Yes.
So if the kid is in the co-pilot seat, who's in the pilot seat?
You have not officially met the pilot, but
Okay.
there is an individual sitting in the pilot seat, and his instrumentation looks more like sensors, and it's not like actual controls for the ship. It's more like he monitors the speed and the route and makes sure that what you're doing lines up with the computer's automation program.
Okay. So he's more like a proper an airplane pilot,
Right,
as opposed to like a jet pilot.
right.
He's okay.
Cool. Well, if we're good, everyone's clear. Captains, say the word, and we'll start our way.
Oop, sorry. There we go. Okay.
I have an
So
experiment.
you feel the ship begin to list forward, and you don't even feel the engines kick on. They're just. And Adriadne, as you're sitting in there, you feel the of the warp engine kind of kick on, and it's just kind of this very steady tone. Okay, so yeah, sorry. There's
Forward.
5
Chuck
things.
Norris flying machine.
You've got those handles. You're ready to go. So as you begin to maneuver the ship, because you're in manual mode at this point, not on autopilot, you like to take control and be in charge of the ship. And Alfie's like, all right, whatever. It's one less thing I gotta do. Um, go ahead and roll your piloting
All right.
check.
All right. 18.
But would I have to be sitting?
At
For
this
this-
at this
Sure hope
pace
so.
and everything.
Yeah.
Too late now.
At this pace, no. The only time you have to be sitting and buckled in is when you're in faster than light travel or wormhole travel, anything that's that kind of speed.
Okay. Then
when-
I would just probably like stand next to Quinn, like not so like I'm blocking the captain's view or anything, just like kind of off to the side.
okay.
Um,
You can kind of see over the console where his console's at, and
I mean, I'm not like over his shoulder, like no, not that.
No.
You're doing it wrong.
See, I would do it like that. But,
But I mean, you do whatever. You're professional.
Throw the entire ship into a barrel roll just to get Hades out of.
joke's on you. I got anti-gravity boots.
I rolled an 18.
okay. Yeah, it's a very smooth flight. As you begin going around Europa, you can see the on the console above. You have this like little mini console, and then the captain has that massive console where he can kind of direct what parts he can see. And as of now, he's got it to where he's maintaining a visual on Jupiter and Europa and the base, and then your little console, you kind of see the front of the ship and where it's headed and pointed.
Okay. Anything weird popping up?
Not at this point. You're kind of coming around the side of Europa, preparing to kind of get to the point where you slow down.
I'm gonna like flip on the communication for the ship,
Okay.
and in the best like clear this I am a like airplane pilot voice, be like, hello ladies and gentlemen, there is a wonderful view outside the port side view. Please take a look and enjoy Jupiter. And then
Okay. Quinn, as you're piloting and you hear this, you would know that it would actually be on the starboard side. Because
Right.
port is left. And as you're kind of coming around Europa,
oh, I would imagine we were going like that.
yeah.
So like the left side would be
I'm more worried about our navigator not knowing.
No, actually,
the
you're right,
direction.
because as you're coming in between the moon and Jupiter would
Yeah.
be on the port side.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, there
And,
you go.
Yeah. Nautical stuff.
and we're at Neptune.
Hey, what do you know? I also have something I would like to be doing.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if this will work, but here's my plan. I would like to take sort of make like a dummy data pad with
Okay.
some like fake information on it and put the virus onto the dummy data pad and feed it some information and see where it goes, especially as we approach the thing. I just want to like really watch the feed.
Okay, so you would be able to do this. This is a fairly basic thing for an engineer to be able to do. So you find there's stacks of like blank data pads and data pads that are no longer being used but have information on them that you would be able to just grab one, and you're kind of programming this in while the ship is flying around. And you notice that as you're trying to feed it information, it's sending that information that you're feeding it to the same coordinates, but it's only a one-way ping right now. Like,
Mhm.
it's
Like
just
nothing comes
outbound.
in.
It's not nothing coming in.
Cool.
Should've made
Beats.
it.
As you're running through your diagnostics, you find that there's a bit of software corruption in these automatons.
They've been Napstered.
Well, I'm going to. What I think that if I started to like reboot all of their systems, that it might clear out and they would kind of come back to some kind of a default.
It seems to be on a surface level, like it's just surface level software that's corrupted, and it doesn't look. Now I'm hungry.
Delightful.
It doesn't look like it's embedded into their systems or anything. It's just a surface level corruption, so it doesn't look like it's a virus or anything. It looks more like there's missing bits of information on the surface level of their programming.
Or would I assume maybe something is physically messing with their like their wireless connection and stuff like that? Like,
You're not really able to tell. Like I said, it's mostly just a corrupted software. There's not a unique software that's like embedded. It's not like a virus or anything. It's just missing bits of information. So they could have become corrupted because of the virus. You could make that assumption. Or somebody could have been sabotaging them. But there's a bit of information on the surface level of their software that just seems to be corrupted.
Hey Joe, just curious, are they Vect as well, or are
They're
they
not.
just like
They're
robots?
automatons. They're just programmed. They're not
Okay, so
intelligent.
there's no like high level intelligence or
No.
anything.
No, they're just running software, robotics.
Okay.
They're automatons.
I'm going to like manually, like with their access ports in the back, like on the back shoulder, or whatever. I will walk around and I'm actually going to shut down each one
Okay.
for now until figure out. Because I don't want them running around messing up. Because I like everything neat and tidy and in its place. And these stupid things are running around just putting it wherever. So I'm going to shut them down till we can get them back up and running.
Okay. Yeah, you go through and there's about 10 of them that are lined up in that line, and you shut them all down. At this
And
point,
one more thing, I will make like a note. And is this something like I would send off to like engineering or some other type of mainframe on the ship to let them know, we've got, issues with the software, and just indicating that I shut everything down. And I
Yeah,
want them
protocol-
to look into it right away.
yeah, protocol would dictate that if you find an issue with software, engineering is who's going to solve that or look into that.
So I will get that all put together, and I'll send it down to engineering.
At this point, the ship has kind of come around towards the coordinates that this satellite would be, and as the captain is kind of keeping an eye on the moon base and Jupiter and kind of keeping that main screen up on that, Quinn, as you're pulling the ship around, you see this very dark silhouette. It's a very cylindrical shape with some spires that are coming off of it, and off of one of the spires there's a very round spherical object attached. Spires.
How big is it? Like, is it the same size as the ship, or?
Oh no. It's you can see it as you're kind of coming around. It's probably maybe 50 feet in length. The diameter of the cylinder is probably maybe 10 feet in diameter. So it's a large object, but it's not near as big as the Binocular. It's very tiny compared to that. In fact, it's probably smaller than a lot of the fighters and chariot.
Got it. I'm going to if Hades is still there, I'm going to point it out to Hades. I'm going to say, hey, look at that. Do you see that?
I see it. Think we can get some scans from it?
Let's give it a shot. I'm going to ask Elfie if he's still next to me to try to get a reading on this object up here before we tell the captain.
Oh, yeah, sure. What is this?
I don't know. It's here. Let me send my screen over and kind of show him where it's at, and then see if he can find it before taking it back to make sure we don't end up like halfway through Jupiter or something. But
I'm pretty sure you can like share your screen,
Yeah.
like zoom.
It's like,
beep. Put it on the main.
everyone on the ship sees
It's
it.
just like Minority Report, actually. As you
Reply
kind of
all.
flip it, you see this holographic, like, kind of slide over, and he grabs it and expands it and starts manipulating it, and he begins to kind of run the scan. He's like,
Ooh.
well, that's unusual. Let me try that again. He runs another scan on it. And I don't know what that is, Quinn, but that's not something. It's not something I can scan. And he kind of slides the screen back over to you. Should I tell the captain about this anomaly, or
Have I seen anything like this before?
you would know about satellites, and you could safely make an assumption that this is a satellite.
Okay.
But you've never seen anything built and designed like this before.
Okay.
So it
Yeah,
doesn't,
they're normally not
it doesn't look
cylindrical
cute.
like that, right?
so it doesn't look human built. It looks
It
foreign.
does not look like a human-built satellite.
Okay.
Got it.
I you want me to tell the captain or?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and I'll bring the thrust down, and not stop us or take us off course, but I'll bring the thrust down. Hades, go ahead, and I'll tell Alfie to just keep our sensors on wide range now, just because we're gonna slow down. You never know. So if he can't tell anything from being specifically focused on that, let's just be aware broadly about anything coming up now that we're getting close.
Okay. Yeah, he acknowledges. And he says, "Yeah, you know something?
Well, there was some weird thing. There was some weird thing with Panworld down there. And yeah, I don't know, it was weird. And so I'm wondering if this has something to do with them. I don't know.
They've got their hands in a lot of things. I don't know if this gets any more deep. I'm gonna have to tell the captain. So,
Yeah, I just had Hades go check it out.
oh, okay, that's cool.
I turned to the captain's like, Captain, it looks like we're picking up a strange satellite. It doesn't look human built.
There shouldn't be any satellites on Europa.
Quinn, can you bring it up on the screen?
Sure thing.
Behold, Captain, the window.
So
Throw
as
it up
you,
on the main screen.
yep, you throw it up on the main screen, and there it is, big as day. And as it's on the main screen, you can see a little bit more detail. This object is definitely metallic, and definitely not natural. It looks like a satellite, but definitely not human made. And you can see that on the as it's kind of rotating and spinning in the orbit, there seems to be some kind of attachment port that's like disconnected from something. So it looks like there's a piece of it that's almost like missing off of this.
Can I do like a history check or like a science check to have any idea what this is besides like a satellite?
Oh yeah,
You
can I do-
Maybe like the
Absolutely.
structure of it would look familiar to like another really race's.
Yeah, also since we are doing this under the guise of like doing the scenic route for people, can I like access like the video as well or something, or would they have it like displayed?
Engineering would have access to what the captain is seeing on the main screen.
Okay.
So there's like this little panel next to you that shows what the main, like you wouldn't have access to Quinn's panel unless he gave you access to it, but there's a panel next to you that always displays what's on the main screen.
Cool.
So if the captain is in communications with someone, you have that up on your screen as well.
All right. So
So yeah, this thing pops up, and you did see Jupiter and the moon base there, and then all of a sudden this thing pops up.
sounds like we all want to do some history checks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Would it
can
be history or tech or what?
it depends on what you're trying to like interpret from this. If you're trying to interpret like what kind of technology is being used here, then roll your tech. If you're trying to figure out like where this came from or who made it, that would be a history check.
I'm gonna do a history one then.
I'm gonna do tech, and I want to focus on that part that's
I will-
missing to see if
I
it's
will-
like
Okay.
a detachable part of it.
I'll go to Elias and try to bounce ideas on, what alien race could have made this.
Is it
Okay.
old?
It doesn't look old. It looks
Okay.
fairly new, but it is, like I said, it's a very dark metal. It's almost like it's been painted over as well, with a very dark black paint. So it looks like it's designed not to be seen.
I was just trying to figure out if I got my
Imagine it's
proficiency
that
double.
pool that the light absorbing paint.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah. I'm also proficient in history, so if I can, I'll roll.
Yeah. Anybody that wants to roll can roll.
Dirty 20.
19.
4.
I got a 15. So.
15.
I have 18.
Nice.
18.
I'm messing with robots. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Why are
You
why
could
are you
re-
putting the box here? Why? What are you doing? Except you're singing. Why
I'm
are
like-
you putting the box here?
I'm like rubbing his face on there, like, bad robot, bad robot. This goes. Not where this goes.
Okay. So, Elias, with your dirty 20,
Dave.
Dirty.
you're absolutely certain that this is nothing that you have ever read about or seen or heard about from any of the races. You're familiar with some of the tech from like the elves and the dwarves and the Aviara, apparently, obviously. And this is definitely 100% not human tech.
Mhm.
But none of the races that you know of their tech, this is nobody's.
I'm gonna out loud be like, this isn't right.
I'm not picking up anything on my knowledge here either. I've never seen any type of satellite like that, Captain.
No, it doesn't look right.
Neither have I. I've seen a lot of shit.
So battle hardened. Oh, by experience. Love it.
Like, it doesn't look like anything.
Try running a scan on it, Alfie.
Again.
Alfie looks over at Quinn and then looks back at the captain and says, "Aye, Captain." And the entire bridge can hear that scanning thing.
I got a 19 for that weird bit.
Oh, for the tech? Okay.
Mhm.
So as you're looking at the panel and you can kind of manipulate and zoom in on that, you can identify that there is some sort of piece of this satellite that has forcefully dislodged and is missing from it. So it's not something that you would plug in and take out or plug in and take. It's something that is permanently affixed, that has been somehow forcefully removed and is missing.
Hmm.
I think while Alfie's scanning, I'd probably come in. Engineering, this is the bridge. Are you getting a look at this?
I guess I'll respond if the chief engineer's not gonna. Yeah, this is weird.
The chief engineer is focused more on the
Yeah.
engines and keeping the ship running around its course, and is really not paying any attention to what's on the monitors or anything. Unless she's specifically paged by the captain, she's not going to pay attention to what you're doing and what's going on.
Got it. Yes. In that case, yeah, this is strange. It looks like there's a piece broken off of it. Can you guys scan and see if there's any debris around here?
Look at Alfie again. I don't know. Scan it again. I don't know.
Just scan around for debris, not just thing.
He manipulates the thing and does an open wide scan, and yeah, no hits on that scanner, sir.
Can I try and figure out where, like, if it got knocked off or something, where might it go?
There's really no evidence of like which direction it came off of or
Yeah,
what
it's-
trajectory it would have taken. And with
Yeah.
Alfie not being able to scan it or find any missing pieces, it could have went a million different directions. Could have crashed on the moon. It could have went off into space in another direction. It could have went in Jupiter. There's really no evidence as to what direction this piece would have.
Does it look cut off or broken off?
It's forcefully removed. Like it looks like it was torn or ripped or
The moth
broken.
bite out of it.
Captain, I don't want to risk the ship getting too close. Would you mind if me and maybe 2 other fighters go out to go check it closer? It seems we're having a problem scanning it.
Yes, our external scanners are not picking anything up. Perhaps we should bring it aboard. I'd like you to head to the teleporter room. We'll teleport it aboard, and I want you to scan it immediately. Be prepared to emergency jettison the satellite if.
All right. I'll start heading down there, and I'll beep for at least for two more security officers to meet me in the teleporter room.
Hey, Joe?
Yes.
Can I use, I guess, the navigation systems to kind of send out like a ping to see if there's anything else in the area that's the same as this? Like this dark silhouette against anything, just to kind of be like, is there anything in the range?
Okay, so you're gonna like a sonar ping, like looking
just
for
like
something of the same shape.
Yeah, anything that would like resonate the same way.
Yeah.
Because there shouldn't be anything out here, period, right? We figured that out.
Right. There should not be any satellites out here.
Okay.
So
Captain said,
you hit that button, and it's the 4th button on your 4-button panel. It's the galaxy thing. It's a, it's
Senior
like a
year, baby.
clicking, like a ping. And it updates with any celestial bodies. It'll pick up the size of a golf ball, anything the size of a golf ball and bigger.
Okay.
So you hit that button, and your map just kind of refreshes it like blind, like ripples, and you see it kind of bounce back, and there's no update to the map.
is this map picking up the satellite?
It is.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. Like it wasn't like an absence of something that wasn't being picked up in that spot.
You know, after you've kind of curved around and you're doing that, it's definitely showing up on the interactive holographic map if you zoom in. Obviously, out on the map, it's just this little tiny thing, so you can't see it, but...
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So yeah.
Captain, should we stay the course, or do you want me to move in so we can intercept it?
We're gonna teleport it on, right?
Yes, as long as it's within range of the tractor beams, we can teleport it on board.
All right, I'll keep her within range.
I'm also going to make sure that no one else besides like engineering and security and them can see this on the comms. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's still looking at the big view that's nice and pretty.
Is this being beamed into my area by chance? Or is this...
You have a console that is dedicated to your manifests and everything, as well as your data pads and your remote stuff, but you have a console that's dedicated, and when you're not currently using the console, it displays what's on the main screen.
Okay.
Just like Adriadne has her little console to the side, you have a main
Like
console.
each department would probably have something like that, right?
Right.
And I'll buzz in beats on our personal comms, not on the over channel one. And as Hades is heading to the teleporter room, I'll just say, "Hey Beats, we got a hit on that satellite that we were looking for, and it sounds like they may be bringing it into the teleporter room. If you want to be checking the inventory of the teleporter room at that time."
They're bringing it on board?
Even Beats is like, what? Wait.
He's like, so he's just like kind of realized, oh yeah, we were flying north, so he's gonna look at the console and see that thing floating for the first time. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna head over there.
All right, let me know what you hear.
Must log every inventory.
One satellite check.
So I'll head over, and as I'm like processing this, I'm like, is this really a good idea to bring on board an alien satellite?
Oh yeah, Hades doesn't think it's a good idea, but I'm not gonna argue
No,
with
but
Captain.
we don't make the friggin'
Captain's
Yeah,
decisions.
so
mad.
the
Bring it
captain
aboard.
said this. So it's like, okay.
I was like, that's why I made sure 2 more security officers came with me. So
I'm sure we have some sort of like force field we can keep it in or something so that it doesn't like.
Absolutely.
I will, and also on my way, I will ping Hades and let him know that I am coming in as
Okay.
well for backup.
I was like, Roger that. And I guess
Anybody want anybody with like tech expertise down there?
How'd you get on this channel?
just-
oh, who's this?
I like
Wait,
to
we're
imagine
gonna
we all
allow-
have like a chat box, which just like
Yeah, we're gonna allow static. Go over
Academy,
to
it's
channel
like
2.
GA over it. So it's like it's just like the 6 of us.
Like,
It's a
guys,
very
I'm,
Chat.
guys, I'm trying to
Except-
fly the ship. Guys, you're on the main screen. Guys, stop. Guys, everyone can see me.
Dang it, guys!
I was like, Guys, switch to
Her
Discord.
comms only short range frequency.
Adriadne, you would know that you have access to the controls
so
for
bad.
the teleportation systems, either remotely through your Omni tool or through the console on your desk. Now, the remote Omni tool that you have is limited to certain weight classes. Like you can only teleport individuals up to like 500 pounds. The console that you operate at can teleport things as big as fighters.
I'm gonna turn to the chief engineer and be like, hey, do you want me to go down and like look at it?
What? Oh, look at what, dear?
The weird satellite that we're beaming on board? They didn't tell you about that?
No, they don't tell me anything except for go this way, go that way. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. There's a weird satellite and we're beaming it on board.
We're
and-
beaming alien technology on. Yes, please head down there.
Cool, thanks. And I will and
Okay.
then get her off.
You spin
I will
around in
bring-
the chair a couple times.
Yep. I'll bring many tools with me. Whatever I may need.
I am gonna look at the captain and be like, "We're gonna beam this on board." Like,
Aw.
Hey, they've seen a
He's
lot
seen
of
some
shit.
shit, and he's gonna see some
Yeah.
more shit.
Yes, the captain does look over you. If we can't scan it, then we have to bring it aboard, find out what it is.
It is our job, isn't it?
Yeah, probably go when no one wants to go.
Elias is going to not say a word and just sit down in his chair. He's like, "Okay." Not gonna
Captain
argue with the
Secret-
captain.
the captain's secret
isn't
goal
this is
is-
not the Galactic Academy. I can't make fun of somebody or give them crap the same way. I'm just going to sit down and shut my beak.
Okay. The captain actually sits there for a second. Being a satellite, supposedly, it may have some star charts or coordinates on there relevant to where it came from. Why don't you head down there and check it out as well?
Stand up. That sounds great, Captain. Just going to turn and you guys keep this ship a going. I'm just going to walk out.
I'm sure Alfie can handle it.
Captain, I was just with Elias on the moon base. He probably would want me to, just make sure that he's, okay. So I should probably go too, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm not very proficient in like computer technology. I feel like he could probably get something.
Yeah,
more out of
he's.
this.
I mean, hey, he's great with star charts, but man, I tell you what, keyboards.
Transfer controls to Alfie and go for it.
Let's go. Okay, Alfie, boom, and I'll grab you by the arm and we'll rush out.
Alfie's like, what?
The ship stutters and starts
Fine.
collapsing,
No,
falling.
no.
Alfie actually can't fly. He's just faking it the entire time. He's like, no!
the computer program to fly.
Yeah, he downloaded
Make
something.
it.
But no, he takes over controls and all right, fine. He kind of looks dejected that he has to do something. All right.
Let's see here.
It's the opportunity of your young life.
So you all meet up in the teleportation room, where there's the large airlock door that's the size of like a garage door, and then there's also like the teleportation beam thing. I'm very descriptive, right?
Tractor beam.
Tractor beam equipment, and there's a console on the south wall. Well, south is very on the wall behind the door.
Got it. That wall over there.
Yep.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that one. I see
Yeah.
it.
I was like, Audrey, would you like to do the honors?
Yeah.
Hades, as you're coming into the room, because you'd be the first one to arrive in the room, you are met by two security officers. One is a elf and one is a human. They're both wearing the yellow jumpsuits, but they have a red like 7 stripe, like it comes down across their chest and then goes back across to their hip.
Oh no, they got red on. Oh no. Oh no.
God.
The cannon fodder has
Like
arrived.
disposable. I mean, guys. Right. Should it be fairly simple procedure? We're beaming on a alien satellite. But just be cautious.
Aye. They take up positions on both. Like one of them is on the one side of the airlock door, and the other's on the other side.
And I guess at some point I get the message that we have more company coming.
Yeah.
I wait,
Yeah.
and then they come, and I'm like, oh, it's you all. Okay.
Yeah. All
Did
your,
you see the
your
group
friends.
chat?
Looks at me
I like to
oh,
think that I
wow.
look at Hades for like a solid 10 seconds, like, I don't know why I'm here.
I don't know.
It's like I told you I was on the way.
Well, no, him, yeah. I was like, wasn't sure that everyone else. But anyway, right. Audrey, would you teleport the object onto the board?
Yeah. I will set up an appropriate sized shield to make sure that it can't like try to kill everything with data or with physical
With
stuff.
data.
Uh,
All these zeros and ones.
You are able to lock onto the object.
basically just want to make sure it doesn't nothing can get out into anything else.
I think I saw two.
Oh
That's
shit.
impossible.
That's it.
Anyway, yes, so I'll set up an appropriately sized force field and then I will press whatever buttons I have to press to teleport this guy up.
Okay, you
in
manipulate the console and you lock on, and the first airlock door opens, and you see this blue beam shoot out from the ship and grab around this satellite, and it begins to pull the satellite into the first part of the airlock, and it just kind of hovers in the airlock, and the first door shuts, and then the second door, you hear that, and then as the door opens up, and the thing is brought into the bay and kind of set down, and this shimmering purple shield kind of encapsulates the device, and the door shuts. And it is now
Important.
on board.
How big is it from
I use my new stool to reach the console.
It's portable, remember, so you're able
I
to
know.
whip out the stool and
Is it in your inventory?
Yes. Well, it is. I haven't written it in there yet, but yes. Anyway,
Foldable
sorry I
chair.
interrupted.
no, you're absolutely
Ronald.
fine.
and Joe and
Ronald.
everyone.
What are you doing? What is Hades doing?
on me, and I will open the door, go and scan it.
Okay, so you open the door into the bay and you walk in and you begin to run your scanner over it. And as you're scanning the device, the two individuals come up next to you and kind of, they're kind of prepared. They have their hands on their blaster and they're just kind of keeping over on you. Flanking, positions and security, and they're assisting. And as you're kind of scanning over the device, you see a ripple across the shield,
Hmm.
and a bright light emits from this satellite. Looks like kind of lightning as it kind of pops and hits the edges of the shield from the inside. And then everything just kind of goes down, and your scanner kind of shorts out a little bit. It's not completely busted or broken, it just kind of flickers and shorts out.
Too real, man.
Yeah, too soon. Too soon. God, only an hour. Jeez.
Oh,
Really.
wow. Oh man. I feel like this should hurt more. But yeah, okay. I try to buzz the captain. Captain, this
Yes, Hades, Arvex.
this thing is not cooperating. It just made a very aggressive lightning strike within the shields, and it just sorted out my sensors.
Is it sentient?
I don't know.
Try to
Um,
scan it again.
I looked to
Would we
the
have?
other.
Would we have
You
seen
want me
this?
to do it?
Yes, it was very apparent.
I'm gonna bust out the pole arm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have my Magnus ready.
I'm going to stand not right behind, but like behind next to Quinn. Like a step back and a step over. Like
Don't worry, I have 12 hit points. I got this.
Beats would actually like to approach it, and he'd like to use his technomancy cantrip.
Be careful.
So how does that work? Read that out loud. For those who are not familiar with the dark matter setting.
So it's instantaneous, and it's with a complex input gesture, you can manipulate a technological device that you can see within range, which is 60 feet. Use the ability to perform any basic operation on the device, including but not limited to pressing an external button, entering a dozen keystrokes, data, performing an authorized operation, yada yada yada. I'm just kind of seeing if maybe I can tell if this thing is still emitting some kind of a signal, or for it's accepting some kind of signal, maybe.
Gotcha. Okay. So you walk up and you kind of wave your hand over this technology, kind of Bluetooth communicating with it, and you get the sense that it is in fact receiving signal, but it is not sending out any signal currently. But it is active, and you get the sense that shield that is currently
Just keeping it from...
is kind of buffering,
Right.
so you're not able to get a lot of detail because the shield is kind of causing interference.
Okay. I will kind of look back at the crew and say, this thing is receiving something, and it's
I
not,
could have told you
can't-
that.
it can't emit anything out. Your force field is keeping it contained, but somebody may know that this thing is in the ship, or that it's being restricted somehow. We need to shut this thing down.
Smashing keys on my keyboard.
Now that it's closer, can I tell if it was hit by something, that's why it's missing a part, or if it was like legit like just ripped apart from something?
As
Yeah,
it's laying on the ground, it's very apparent that something has. Oh. Background noise.
Somebody's chatting.
It's very apparent that something has like crashed into this thing and caused a piece to rip away from it. Like there's bent and torn bits of metal, exposed wires. It's very apparent that this thing was damaged by something, and this piece that is missing was forcefully removed from the satellite.
Okay.
Are there any?
Is it like? Oh, go ahead.
Are there any logos, or is there any way to get in this item or object?
You can see several parts, and the engineer would definitely be able to identify the tool used. Their screw, like different types of screws and stuff.
I mean, like decals. Like, are there like? Is there like?
There's no identifying marks on the
okay.
surface of this. It's all painted in that light retracting black matte color.
And is there a door of any kind? Is it like a capsule that you can walk in, or is it like literally just a piece of tech that's been floating and it's?
Right. There's nothing that you could get inside of. It's all wiring, and it's
Okay.
It's definitely a satellite.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to the group, and we have these two other folks here, but I'm gonna tell them, you know that there's someone here. This satellite, the person who owns the satellite, is taking information about the Maw. That has to be what this. That has to be what they're doing.
Or at least information from the moon base.
Which was
Which is
working
all
on the
about
Maw,
Yeah, I know, but
and it has to be.
Adriadne, what do you think you can do with this? Can you shut it down? Can you turn it off? Can you? I mean, you're the tech one. What do we do?
the Beats,
yes,
you look
Beats?
like you would like to say something.
Well, I think I might be able to get this thing to malfunction from where we're standing.
I'm not sure
And-
if we wanted to.
Let me know. I can shut this. I think I can shut this thing down. Then we can
If we
drop the
shut the-
force field and take a look. I don't want to drop the force field until this thing's shut down.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah, as you say that, you see a couple more sparks from this thing kind of hit the force field.
what is can I kind of take a look at its inner protocols and see like what's setting that off? Is it because it's inside? Is it because it got moved? Is it because it got the tractor beam? Like, why is it shooting lightning?
There's no hardware way to look at that. You'd have to like look at the software, and there with the shield up, there's no way to kind of remotely connect to it.
Here's a question. Since we deal with a lot of technology, is there a way to sort of like shield oneself from electric shock, like some sort of weird grounding clothing? Or would Beats have something like that because he's a robot and he has to be really careful about it?
Yeah, Beats is naturally grounded, and you wear boots that ground you as an engineer. So the two
Okay.
of you are
There we go. Okay, thanks.
fairly safe. I mean, you're not like, if lightning struck you, you would still feel that, but
Yeah.
you're grounded from electrical spikes.
How?
Can we pass into the shield?
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
I
you
would.
could reach into it's mostly a container, like containing things inside the shield.
Okay.
It's like a one-way, like you can reach in and grab out.
All right.
I was thinking.
Audrey, do you guys feel comfortable going past the shield?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can still shut this thing down before we enter, and
I don't think we should shut it down yet. I think we have to.
but you
Get
can
in
work
there.
on it once it's shut down and
Got it.
more confined and
But you can't use the tech. You can't like software log into it
Yeah,
because it's
gotta-
off, right?
Get in there and find its secrets. Well, I mean,
Well, let's think through this. So we have a satellite that is transmitting information somewhere, transmitting information about the Maw, most likely, we think.
it's not
Mhm.
transmitting
Somewhere.
it anywhere.
It's storing it.
Not right
it's
now.
storing
Mhm.
information, which means it's maybe going to get picked up, or the part that something happened and it's been busted. So it's storing information, which means we need to get the information out. So the objective is to get the information out. Is that what we're trying to do, and figure out what it has received?
What I want to do is figure out what broke it and why. So like I want to know if like the thing is like crunched in, is it like shoved to the side?
You're gonna find its black box.
And then I also want to find something similar to that and maybe also get into its little systems and see if it has an ability to transmit anything anywhere, and then see maybe where that goes.
Okay.
All right, how about this? Beats, you're on standby outside the shield, in case anything stupid happens, and you can shut it off. Audrey, I will be right behind you, outside the shield. If anything stupid happens, I will pull you out.
Cool.
Like how
And I can
Um,
heal you if you do take.
I'll go in. I'll go in
yeah.
with you, and I'll help you too.
enemies exploded again.
Okay. And yeah, so I will give Beats like
So cool.
you can probably figure it out yourself, but here's how you shut it off. And yeah, I'm gonna head on in there with my little Omni tool and see what I can see.
And
So I'm gonna kind of prepare. I'm not gonna like prep to use it, but I'm gonna like get anything out that I would need to use, like a healing spell,
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
just to
also,
prepare, just in case. I'm not gonna like
I-
prep the spell slot and like use it, expend it. I'm just gonna get out anything. My
Psyching
materials,
yourself
stuff
up
that I-
and getting
Yeah.
ready. And
I will be prepared with my spell that I wanted to cast in case there is something that. you need to
gotcha.
shut
You're
this
all
thing
on
down right
edge
away.
and ready to go.
I forgot to prepare my spells just completely in general, so I'm just flying. Anyway, hey, Quinn, while I'm looking at stuff,
yeah,
you wanna if you have the time, kind of look around, look at all these nuts and bolts, try and figure out what type they are and where they're from. Like maybe there's some kind of maker's mark on them.
yeah. I'm proficient with mechanics tools, and I have my background is in technologist industrial machinery. Ironically, so I don't know if this is all like some sort of epic tie-in that we just couldn't foresee or what. But if a satellite is considered industrial machinery, I don't know.
I mean, they would
I'd
at
be able to
least
help.
need it to build it.
I'd be able to help in that way if that's something that is even remotely possible.
Okay.
Either you'll look at it and you'll have details, or you'll look at it and you won't have any. And if you don't have any, that's still a good detail.
So I'm proficient in mechanics tools, tinker's tools, and then I have data and technology proficiencies. So if I can do something unique to data or mechanics, or I'm sorry, tinkers or mechanics tools, I do that. Otherwise, I would help whatever it is that our engineer is doing.
Okay. So, Quinn, as you're looking at the satellite and looking it over, you recognize the screws and the bolts that are being used are standard Pan World hardware.
I'm like looking at the bolts and I'm like, I knew it.
Sons of.
Adriadne, you enter into the shield, and as you do, the sparks they're not even like sparks, they're like lightning, like tiny little, they're not like huge bolts of lightning, but they're little sparks of lightning that are emitting from the shield, the machine, and hitting the shield. They stop when you enter into the shield area. And as you're ascertaining the damage, you can see that this missing piece was ripped clean from the satellite in a violent, like, dislodging motion. You can see that everything's bent outwards, like there was something on this, and something with a lot of force yanked it off of the satellite.
Okay.
So there's
So
torn metal.
something was
there's-
holding on to it for sure.
Right, it was like bolted and mounted onto this, and it just like ripped
like something
the metal.
C-clamped it and went.
Yeah.
And it was violently ripped off, and you can ascertain that this metal is a very hard metal, and it would take a lot of force to bend and rip and tear the metal itself to the point that caused this type of damage. The only thing that really comes to mind that would be able to do something like this is like a comet or asteroid hit.
Okay. Well, so something hit it, not like ripped or.
Right, you can't think of any kind of creature or machine that would have the force necessary to pull it from the metal that it was attached to. It would have had to have been something with the force of like a comet or an asteroid or a projectile in space that collided with this and just ripped it from its And as you're further investigating, it actually, you can identify that the transmission system, like the satellite for transmitting the data, is what was pulled off of this thing.
Aha. Okay. Can I still find out like how where it would transmit to? If not, that's fine. But
there's not really anything left of the transmission section of the satellite. But as you're kind of looking through, on the inside of the satellite, there's a part that you can find that has a logo stamped onto it. And it is, it's like a half crescent picture of Earth. Mm-hmm. And then inside the insides of the Earth, inside of the crescent of the Earth, there are several dots that look like other planets.
Is that the Pan?
If you are familiar with that company, you would be able to identify that as the Pan World logo.
I don't know, but either way, I would be like, does anyone know what this is? It looks like thing with a bunch of little dots.
I'm right next to you, right?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Are we yelling? Can they hear us through here?
Yeah,
I'll take a
sound
look.
travels.
I can imagine.
Like she says that, I'm like,
yeah. Oh my God, we're being. They're gonna send us out.
Doing the mime.
Yeah. Yeah, I would tell her. Yeah, I know this. This is the Pan World logo. This is
Okay.
Pan World Tech.
Well,
then I will immediately buzz the captain. Captain,
Yes, Corvex.
this is Pan World.
The satellite is owned by Pan World.
Owned and built.
You have confirmation.
Built by.
up the
It has,
stamp on it.
it
I
has
want
a-
to say it has parts from it. I don't know if it's built by them.
The hardware.
I'll send.
well, it has a decal. It has a decal from.
The hardware.
Yeah,
hardware,
but if you buy like a Toyota part, it's gonna have a Toyota logo on it. Doesn't mean that Toyota
That's fair.
built it.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. I was like, well, we
it
can't.
does.
We can't confirm its own. The transmitter has been ripped off by something violent, either a comet or something strong enough to rip it off. But the parts Quinn has confirmed are Pan World.
Affirmative. If Pan World parts are on that, they'll have serial numbers attached to those parts, and we can return it to its owner based on those serial numbers. So, is it safe? Is it going to explode? Is it?
No, but we can have Beats turn it off.
Yeah, have Beats turn it off and have him inventory it and store it in the cargo hold. And as we return to Terra, we'll return it to Pan World. And they'll be able to trace it.
Roger that.
Before, I'll just go ahead and let you end the conversation with the captain's like, okay, so didn't get a chance to tell you guys that virus that looked like it was just really old and like from some old thing wasn't actually. It was like, that was like a shell on it, like a little decoy.
Like,
so
it was faking being an old virus?
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't want to shut it off yet. I want to like look at it and try and see what's going on.
I mean, you're in there. Like
Alright,
you're inside
just-
the shield. I mean, send some sensors or pings, whatever you guys do. I don't. You guys are the professionals.
I was just saying I don't want to shut it off. Like the captain ordered us to shut it off, and I was just letting you know, like I don't want to shut it off yet.
You can shut it off in
Quite
5
yet.
minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So while they're,
Okay.
Captain
they're
to Quinn.
working on-
Captain to Quinn.
yes, Captain. This is Quinn.
When we're approaching the other side of the moon and ready for FTL travel in probably about 15 minutes.
Got it. Okay. Great. We'll be right up, sir. And sorry.
No, you're fine.
Should probably let him. I'm going to I'm just gonna see. So the lightning has stopped.
Yeah, the little sparks of lightning that were shooting off the satellite and hitting the shield
Force
have
field?
stopped.
I'm going to take my my glaive out, my space glaive, because obviously that's what it is, and I'm going to hit the satellite with it.
Did you not like while I'm in here?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it.
So you
Okay.
and the metal, reverberates and kind of echoes. There's no reaction.
Okay. Weird. All right.
Ooh.
I'm gonna retract it, and I'm gonna say, all right, I gotta go back to the bridge. And I'm gonna walk out, and on my way out, I'm going to keep the piece of hardware,
Keep the piece of cardboard.
the logo, right?
Oh,
The
okay.
piece with the
So
little
you're kind
logo.
of ripping
or did
that
you,
out. It's
or was that like in?
it's inside the
Oh,
satellite.
okay. I thought you like had it out and you gave it. Yeah. Okay. No,
can
I'm
send
not
you-
gonna like.
I could send you pictures though.
Yeah, just like.
Yeah.
Get me-
Take a selfie with the logo.
Okay, but
Pan
first,
roll
gotta take a selfie.
time.
First
Yeah.
trip to the
Cooking up eggs
moon.
with Pan World.
I thought they sold cooking supplies.
It's sad that it's the
Evil
future.
diabolical kitchen company.
Any of them are.
Okay. Yeah, and then I want to see I want to see if this virus actually originated from this satellite or if it's just receiving information from the virus.
Okay. I would like you to roll your data check.
When Quinn goes back, because I'm assuming, like, if he said, look, we're gonna leave soon, then I have to go back up too, I would assume.
The
Because I'm the
captain actually
navigator.
didn't call for you, but
Oh,
you can
okay.
assume that.
Oops, sorry.
I wasn't sure if like I have to be on the bridge for faster light travel or how that works.
See ya.
Yeah,
Seven.
sounds good.
You rolled a
What's
7.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you begin to run your scans, and you notice that at first the scans are starting to connect and communicate with the satellite, but then they're kind of shut down.
Everything in there, airplay in there, Ari? Okay. Well, we got 13 more minutes.
Yep. Beats, do you want to give it a try and see if you can? I was trying to see if the virus is in here and came from here, or if it is just receiving information from the virus.
I will give it a shot, and then I suggest we shut this thing down before anything else happens. You want me to make a data roll?
Yes.
I'm just gonna be talking to the 2 security guys, just like shooting the shit with them.
I just don't
They,
know.
as you're
That's
talking
okay.
to them, they start to kind of let their guard down. And Hades, you notice that their hands are no longer on their blasters, and they're just kind of relaxing and starting to talk to Elias.
That's a natural 20.
Yes.
Nice.
Before that, I will turn to them and just like,
Shoot them.
And they
Elias, aren't you need on the bridge?
I don't know. Am I? Okay. You guys take care. We'll meet up later, get a drink or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should all definitely have dinner together after this. Like, what?
Yeah, I could go for some like apple juice or something.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Guys, oh, yes, but please.
Like,
the two security guards are just like nodding. Yeah, dinner sounds good. Like they're inviting themselves.
Yeah, I'm totally.
you
Let's
could
come hang out
totally,
with us.
yeah. Oh God, you guys, you know what? We should have stroganoff. We should see if that thing can replicate stroganoff.
Oh,
That
yeah.
stuff's delicious.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And Matt,
Oh,
you
I
nat
noticed that
20
Hades
your
is
roll,
giving me
right?
the evil eye and just back out of the place and go at the bridge.
What's that, Joe?
You nat 20'd your roll, right?
Correct.
So you got a message from me, by the way.
I saw that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm hearing that from the satellite.
Yep.
I'm going to look down at Adriadne and be like, this thing is talking to me.
What's it saying?
I'm
Might
sorry,
come to
Phil.
dinner.
It says,
Does it want to come to dinner?
I would like beef stroganoff.
it
Please.
says, please let me out.
As you start to say that to them, Adriadne and Quinn has already left. Adriadne is the only one left in the force field. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yup.
Yo.
If I
didn't-
see something
said-
happening, can
Good.
I reach in and try to grab her?
Yes,
Like
you
the
can.
sister?
That would give her advantage
said-
on that roll.
Said
Oh,
dex
I
saving roll.
advantage
Yep.
now.
Me too.
Nope. Just
Just her?
just her.
Oh, that's right.
I'm pretty sure I do.
21.
Okay.
Damn.
So Hades is able to kind of see what's going on and reaches in and grabs you as you're kind of jumping back and pulls you through the shield as the lightning erupts across the entire surface of this thing and hits the shield in several spots, kind of dissolving the shield.
Nope, I want to put it back. I want to put it back right now.
As soon as
I don't like it.
I see the shield drop, I'm going to go ahead and cast technical difficulties.
Okay.
Say first level spell, bonus action. It's a concentration. Choose a piece of magical technology within range, which is within range. The device malfunctions in unpredictable ways such that it is unusable for the duration. So I just want to try and just like shut this thing down. Just
Okay. So as the lightning is kind of
EMP
and hitting and dissolving the shield, Adriadne turns around and goes to reinstitute the shield, and you hit that technology shutdown, and you see one bolt of lightning kind of. All the lightning kind of conglomerates in the center of this thing and splits out and hits the two security guards directly in the chest and blows right through them into the side panels.
Shit.
And you see the side panels kind of like light up, and the lightning kind of sizzles across the panels in the back, and some of the monitors kind of explode, shattering, and you see the crackling, and then the glowing on the satellite shuts down as you have successfully shut it down, Matt.
I wanna look immediately. Like, things
you-
shut down. Cool. I want to see if anything's in our stuff now.
Yeah, I'm making a perception to see if what else happened, and I'm going to the nearest security guard and trying to see if I can bring him back up.
Okay.
Are they? Because I'm assuming that I'm still in like the doorway thinking about beef stroganoff. If I can like go and see if I can help these guys. If they're
And,
down, you spare the dying and stabilize them and stuff.
Beats will sarcastically as he can for a robot say, "Yeah, let's not shut it down. Let's find out what it can do."
Who could have ever thought? Whoever would have guessed?
I got a 15 on perception as I'm like looking around and trying to reach down the like pump.
Okay, so
Like-
what it appears is that this lightning was shot from this satellite and hit these people and went through them and into the machinery on the back wall and just kind of dissipated and sparkled out.
Okay.
Elias, you would be able to hit Spare the Dying on one of them because their skin is charred and they would, but the other one is just gone. Like there's a hole in his chest that's charred.
Even if I pumped 5 points of healing hand or lay on hands.
I mean, there's a hole in him. Does that
Okay.
regenerate? Like his heart?
It's a
is
healing
full?
spell.
I mean, it's a healing spell.
Yeah, but that's like I think there's lesser restoration or something that like brings back limbs. There's a hole in his chest.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
he's
Yeah,
like-
one of them is like charred, and one of them is dead.
Yeah.
He
Like,
suffered
super
double
dead.
hit points. He's like really dead.
yeah, like
Okay.
the lightning went through him, leaving a hole where his heart was at, and there's just this charred hole in his chest. The other one, however, you can stabilize. He's in very critical condition.
Yeah, I'm gonna dump a cure wounds into him.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, I'm gonna
Graciously.
lean over him and kind of take my gauntlet and touch the inside of it, and then kind of make like a motion around it, so it kind of like glows, and like each like point has like its own individual little halo, and then touch him and kind of force the energy into his body, so like to give him life again
Okay.
and make sure he's not like heavily wounded.
It's fucking cool.
The charring kind of starts to kind of flake off, and you can see new skin kind of like going.
and
Hades, go ahead.
I will immediately, Captain. We have a problem. We have one man down, another injured, security, and
I was going.
some of our systems have been damaged.
Copy that. Get them to the med bay immediately, and head up to the bridge for FTL travel. We'll get them to Terra as fast as we can, so we can get them medical attention.
We also need to do a diagnostics of the ship, just in case.
I'm doing it right now.
Affirmative.
Punch it.
Yeah, I give that guy 9 hit points back,
Okay.
and if he is
So all
awake,
hit
I'm
points.
gonna go grab the other guy and just lift him up. Be like, you guys take care of this. I will take this guy to the med bay.
All right. Just have him accompany you to the one that's injured.
Yeah, I want to run the thing, make sure virus not in ship or strange lightning entity.
Okay, roll a data check. Beats, what are you doing at this point?
I'm going to approach the satellite, and with it being shut down, I don't think I'll be able to communicate with it. But I want to physically inspect and see if there's any type of compartment or anything, like if this thing will come apart.
It looks like it's built really solidly. There's no like secret doors or anything to this. It's like one hunk of metal that's been assembled as a solid piece.
So I think at this moment I remember hearing a voice talking to me, and I'm physically looking at this thing, and it doesn't look like you could physically put a solid person or a solid creature in this thing. I'm gonna be kind of
I had to rejoin. I was like, yeah. Ow.
Dave, I
I'm
think
gonna
you got some more background noise.
I'm gonna kind of it's gonna hit me that maybe what was pulsing out of this thing is what was talking to me, and now it's it's entered the ship manifest or something. So
Okay.
so I'll kind of I will tell that to Adriadne, my little theory. Like, I think whatever was in the satellite is now in the ship. We definitely got problems.
That was also my theory, but she looks pretty visibly shaken by just seeing somebody, like die. And I got a 5.
Okay. You're so distraught by what you saw and everything, your focus really isn't on what you're doing, and you don't really glean anything. You're just kind of going through the motions.
Beats, can you just do this? I don't think I
Yeah,
can do this.
I'll give it a shot. Let's see here.
Sick. Audrey, how would you get the engineering and strapped in? We'll
And
clean up everything here.
Joe, I rolled a 15 on my data check.
Okay. As you're kind of checking through, you do see an anomaly in the system,
Yes.
but you're not able to identify what's going on. At this point, the captain comes over the speaker and says, "We're in position. Please, everybody report to your stations for FTL travel back to Terra."
Beats will come over the comm to the captain. Captain, I don't think that's a good idea. We do have something in the ship. There is some anomaly physically in the ship. Over.
Copy that.
And I'll look at Adriadne and say, I think you better get over to engineering, let them know you guys need to flush this thing out before we make a jump. Who knows what will happen with the ship if we try and jump.
Yeah, I scurry right over to that little teleporter thing, and I'm just
Ejecting the satellite out.
no.
Okay.
Teleporting to
Okay.
engineering. Though, gosh, I'd like to, but I won't. Anyway, yeah. So I'll get down to engineering and be like, "Hey, don't know if you heard, but the thing we brought on board totally just killed somebody. So, and it also maybe went into our computers, and we need to get it out."
Oh, great. Okay. I'm busy with the ship engines. Can you do a scan?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You want to roll again?
No.
Just
Quinn, Elias, you get up to the bridge, and the captain looks a little concerned as you enter in. What's going on? Why can't we head to Terra?
I have no idea. I wasn't there,
Um,
but you would know.
the ship or the satellite, lightning came out of the satellite, hit 2 of our men, killed 1 on impact. The other one I was able to stabilize and recover. And apparently, it's somehow in the ship. I don't know how that works.
Alfie, what are you doing? Alfie looks back at you and I don't know, sir. I don't have control.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
And as you guys are all in your separate areas, you feel the ship begin to kind of list in a different direction. And Adriadne, you can hear the FTL drive start to kick on.
And I
It
try
starts
to like
warming up.
Oh shit! I'm going to
I strap in.
my seat and buckling in.
Yeah.
I'll call
Well,
out.
Immediately.
I'll call out. Get in your seats now. Any seats now.
And as
did we I will call it to the chief engineer. Did we receive the like actual go for FTL? Because I know we were maybe gonna wait.
she turns around and she looks absolutely confused as to what's going on. No, I thought you started it up. We're not supposed to be traveling.
Nope.
Put this person in charge.
I go to the nearest thing. and Everyone scrap in.
I'm gonna try to shut it down.
As you're
Ludicrous
attempting
speed.
to manipulate the controls on your thing, every time you hit something, you feel like it's cleared out. Like you pull up the screen to do something, and it just like automatically moves. And you hear off in the distance, like reverberating through the ship, you hear this as you look out the window. You can see Jupiter's atmosphere kind of begins to kind of suck in, like the clouds and everything that are swirling around. You're in a position where you can see the red spot, you know, the famous massive storm. It starts to circle like a bathroom, like a toilet drain, and it begins to kind of like
cool,
get
yeah.
sucked into this giant gaping mouth. And as this clouds around it begin to kind of get sucked around and swirl around into this thing, you can see this black hole in the center as the FTL system begins to power itself on, and the ship kind of rotates. You see on the screen in front of you the ship lined up with the maw, this massive giant maw, and the FTL drive kicks on, and the ship gets launched into this black hole in the center of the maw.
Fuck.
Roll some new characters, guys.
And that's where we're going to end this session.
Wow.
We need
Love
these new characters,
Sunrunners.
Joe.
Nice. All right.
Cool. This would have been super. What if I hadn't tried to find a virus?
What if we would have offered it beef stroganoff? It sounded hungry.
We should have just offered it
What
beef
we would have shut
stroganoff.
the shit down earlier.
Hey,
I love that the robot is the voice of reason.
Well, of course he is. He's a robot. He's like, obviously, we should shut it down. The rest of us are like, but curiosity.
The robot and the security guy are like, all right, we should calm down a little bit. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And you guys are like, let's check it out.
So
Very
thank you
cool.
for joining us for episode 2. We look forward to seeing you next week, Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for episode 3 of Sunrunners. Be sure to tune in as we find out what happens to the RSV Banneker as it shoots at faster than light travel through a mall.
Through Jupiter.
Oh no, is this like if a bag of holding and
Another bag of holding.
the whole thing interact?
Tune in next week to find out.
No.
More to
Thanks,
play.
everybody.
Have a
Thank you.
fantastic evening, and we'll see you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.